It's a new year, and I'm excited for what 2026 can bring to my creative adventures. I'm Joanna, and welcome to Winds of Whimsy. Let's work on a project that can be easily adapted to Valentine's Day or any holiday theme. Today I'm using the IOD Folie Paint Inlay. It has lots of small florals, swirls, and birds. The colors are perfect for a vintage Valentine feel while still being suitable for any day. Here I'm trying to choose which elements might work on my 2-inch blocks. I'm liking that bird. Oh, but here's one that's all by itself. These little bits also work well. Let's get started by mixing some Saltwash into the paints I have chosen. My colors are Paint Couture, Vintage Moss, Kale Sprout, Charlotte Gray, and Misty Fjord. The Saltwash will add some texture to the paint and thicken it for my application process. I chose to spread the paint on using my stir stick instead of a paintbrush. I love the way this technique adds that vintage, chippy, and time-worn look, especially when you are layering the colors. As I worked, I found it quickest to coat 4 sides while I held onto the top and bottom of each block. I would then set it down and coat the top. After this dries, you only have one side remaining to cover. I chose Paint Couture for this project because it has a built-in top coat and I will not need to worry about an extra step to seal the paint. After that first color dries, you will add the contrast color and it's applied in the same manner. My combinations are Kale Sprout with Misty Fjord on top and Vintage Moss with Charlotte Gray on top. I mixed 3 of each color combo for my sets. You can have so much fun mixing colors and embellishing these blocks. The lettering stamp I'm using is called Typesetting and it is from IOD. I'm also going to use the IOD ink in black today. This set is my Valentine's theme and it is going to spell out the word love. Here you can see I've attached the stamp to a thin mount and I'm using a baby wipe to clean up any excess ink that may have gotten on the edges because I don't want that to transfer to my block. I'm going to apply it with firm, even pressure. I hold it down with one hand and apply pressure, being careful not to shift. I always clean my ink off right away using a baby wipe. We'll use this same process for each of the letters. Now I'm taking a look to decide where I want my embellishments to land. The paint inlays have a grid pattern on the back, so it makes it easy to follow those lines and trim closer to this image. I'm using DIY Liquid Patina to apply these paint inlays because I don't want to disturb the chippy colors that I have created as the base color of my block. So I've applied a nice even coat of the Liquid Patina, and here I am spraying a little water on that paint inlay. I'm going to apply it into that wet patina and wrap it around, all the way around this block, getting it nice and snug on those corners. And then I'm going to apply a little bit more water on the outside and just make sure that has adhered evenly and firmly into that product on the block. This is that same process again. Apply some Liquid Patina, wet the paint inlay, use a wet wipe, a damp wet wipe to make sure it's adhered into that product evenly. This was a fun one to apply. It had a ribbon on it, and I wanted to wrap it around so it overlapped the O, the letter O. The inlays have been allowed to dry. I let them sit about 10 minutes. With the Liquid Patina, you don't want to let it completely dry or it will become very stuck. So I've applied some more water. Let that soak in through the paper till it's loosened up, and then it should peel right off very easily and leave the image on the inlay behind on your surface. This was that one that I thought was so fun. It wraps around and it overlaps the letter O just slightly, and I think it turned out really fun. Look at that beautiful color and image. These inlays are so much fun. This is the IOD Ephemeral type stamp. I was wanting to get some typography on some of these blocks. This is a great stamp. It has all different kinds of options. So once again, I'm using the black ink and applying a little pressure to leave the stamped image on some sides of the block. Let's do something on this side. Another stamp set I pulled out was Countryside Memoirs. This stamp has 4 pages of the sweetest little images. Birds, butterflies, ribbons and bows and different florals. So I'm going to use the bird and the butterfly from this stamp to just add some more interest to a couple sides of these blocks. This is where you can have so much fun embellishing with whatever you have in your stash. Take notice here of how I put the stamp on the block where I want it to land. Then I pick it up with my thin mount. The grid pattern will allow you to place that back where you originally wanted it to land. Okay, now I've brought out my vintage texture stamp, and this is the Crackle Texture. Within that, it has 4 different textures available within the stamp set. I'm using the black ink again, and I just very lightly touch in random spots. I just want little highlights of crackle here and there, so I use it very lightly. I'm getting ready to add some antiquing glaze, but before I talk about that, I want to say that the paint inlays must be sealed. I don't show it here, but after they had thoroughly dried, I lightly brushed on liquid patina. This paint can be reactivated with water and the sealer, so you must be very careful. You don't want to overwork it. Just use a very light hand and apply a brush stroke of sealer over those florals from the paint inlay. If you're not comfortable doing that because you're afraid it might smear, you can always use a spray sealer as another option. So here I am adding some antiquing to the edges of the block with Paint Couture light brown sugar and then dabbing that off. I've moved on to some more paint inlays that I have applied here. Removing those, I used the same process with the liquid patina. These have dried. This one was fun. I applied it over 2 blocks so that they will meet in the middle as you peel it off. I'm using that same typesetting stamp to spell out the word "you" here. This set will say "BU," and I used a stamp of a B instead of the letter B for something whimsical and fun. If you would like to purchase any of these products I'm using, I would really appreciate it if you could use my affiliate link with Aunt Bee's Attic. I would receive just a small thank you for your purchase, and that helps me to continue to purchase materials and carry on with my creative projects. This is a great way to get used to using paint inlays. It's something small, very easy to manage, and very fun. Feel free to use whatever tools and materials you have in your stash to have some fun creating these block sets. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you'll follow me in my creative projects this year. Please like and subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think of this in the comments. I would love to see photos of your projects if you give this a try.